Okay, good evening. Today
Good
in
evening.
this lecture, we will revise the class. We will study about some attributes or method uh, of series and data frame in Python pandas, right? So these are the methods or attributes, right? Methods or attributes. These are series methods and attributes, and these are data frame methods or attributes. I've already discussed all these uh, methods or attributes. I'm here to re-explain these methods, right? So first, what is what is index? It returns the total index of the series, right? So we will compile all these functions or attributes one by one, right?
Okay.
Okay, let's go with our practical session. Just overview them: index, array, values, size. Array returns uh, returns and returns a pandas array of the values of series, right? So and values returns all the values of series. Size is what? Size is the attribute which is used to calculate all the elements of the series, right? Shape, it returns the shape of the series. We will use d type and bytes, memory usage, and empty, and dim, and name. After that, we will come to these attributes of data frame, right? One by one. Let's go to the practical session. I'm just creating a simple series, right? Import pandas as p. Now create a simple series. I'm keeping my series name as one. pd dot series. Series is what? Uh, we can uh, we can create a one-dimensional array in the series. So I'm passing some elements inside it, right? So these are the elements in the series, and see this. This is simple series which has only index 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, 3, 4 index, right? So this is only one dimensional array which has only index. Now I'm going to apply all these functions or attributes one by one. First function is s1 dot index. What is the use of this attribute? It returns the index, all indexes of the series. That means how many indexes are there in series. So I just compile them. So range index, which means start, which returns start number. So where the index has been started. So your index starts from 0 and goes to the 4, right? That means we will take um, stop value 5, right? So this is start 0 and this is 5 stop value, which means 4, 5 minus 1, that is 4, right? And how how many steps to be incremented by 1, right? So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another attribute is print s1 dot array. It will return the pandas array of all values, right? So these are the values 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and see this. It returns pandas array. Length of that array is 5. Data type of what? Int 64, which means all the elements are integer type, right? Next attribute is s1 dot values. It will return only the values of the series, right? So see this, return the list of all values. These are the values. You can know all the values of the series by using values attribute. Next attribute is size. It returns the number of elements. How many elements are there in the series? So there are only 5 elements in the series. Next attribute is shape. It returns the shape of your series. What type of series is that? So it is one dimensional array. So it returns 1D array. So that means this is 1D array which has only 5 elements inside it, right? The next attribute is D type. It returns the type of the series. What type of elements are there in the series? All the elements are integer type. So that's why it returns int 64. Okay, so if any of element um, of string type in the series, so it will always return object data type, right? Suppose that I'm creating another series, that is s2 pd dot series, and I'm just inserting some elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and a b, and I want to know the type of that series. So I'll call print s2 dot d type. Elements in the series are the integer type and string type, right? So it will return object data type. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now I want to know the memory occupied by the values or by the index. How much
Yes.
memory uh, values of series are occupied. So I will call S1. I'm taking this series, see this, and I want to know the space occupied by the index, right? And byte, it will return the memory occupied by the values. See this. Okay, it will return the memory occupied by the values, and I want to know the memory occupied by the values or index both, right? So I'll call print s1 dot memory usage, right? So it will return the all spaces occupied by the both indexing and values. See this. If you don't want to calculate uh, index spaces occupied by the index by this function, we will use an attribute that is index with value false. So it will return only the uh, value spaces occupied by the values. See this. Same, you have got same number in the previous example, right? By n bytes. Is it clear to you?
Mm.
So
Yes.
next next attribute is, suppose you want to know the is your series empty or not. My series is not empty, so it is having some elements from 10 to 50. So I will check by s1 dot empty. If my series doesn't contain any of elements, so it will return true, otherwise false, because my series having some elements, so it will return false. See this, because the series is not empty, and now I'm creating an empty series, uh, s3 pd dot series. This is empty series, and now I'm just check it. What is it? Oh, sorry, the first letter should be capital, right? So this is empty series which has no elements inside it. Now just check, is my series empty or not? S3 dot empty. What should it have done? Tell me, what should it have done? It should return true or false. Should it return true or false?
True.
True. Why?
Because S3 is empty.
Yes, because the series S3 is empty. So it will return true. Is it clear? Right?
Yes.
And now I just want to know the dimensions of the series. Uh, I already know series as one dimensional array. So let's check it. Is it one dimension array or any other dimension? So I'll call what s1 dot and dim. To check the dimension of the series, we'll call n dimension. It will always return 1 because series only one dimensional array. So it will return 1. Is it clear? And in the next example, when we will use same function with the data frame, so it will return the two-dimensional array because the data frame has two-dimensional array. So that's why it returns. Okay, so series is having only one dimensional array, so that's why it returns 1. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now these were the examples of series. Now let's move to the next topic, that is data frame. We will use some um, attributes or function of data frame. Okay, so learn it very carefully, right? I'm creating a simple data frame, df, df1, right? pd dot data frame, right? And just pass the two-dimensional array here. This is one dimensional and this is two-dimensional array, which has some elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? And we insert one more element, and that is 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And now compile this line. Your data frame is ready. And now print the complete data frame by using print function. That is that is having some rows and columns, because this is having two-dimensional array which has um, there are some rows and columns, right? So these are the rows and these are the columns. Starts from 0. Is it clear? Suppose
Yes.
I want to access only the column 1, the value from the column 1, right? So I know that only two values are there in the column 1. Even every column contains two values, so I just want to know the values in column 1. Just pass tf and we do indexing in that way with square brackets. Just pass the column name. What is column name? These are the column name. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the column name. And here I want to know the values in the column 1. I'll pass 1 here. And now compile this. So all the values from column 1 will be displayed here. Name is 1. This is the column name, right? And the data type of that column is 64, because all the values in this column are integers. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, now the same function print df1 dot index. So what is the use of index? It will it will return all the indexes of data frame. Same as the series, right? In the series, so all the index are 0 and 1. Index are the rows. We are having only two rows, 0 and 1. It will return the indexes, right? See this range index starts 0, starting value 0, because the index starts from 0 and stop value is 2, which means 2 minus 1 is 1. So 0, 1, and the increment by 1. This is the step value, right? And the next attribute is column. It will return all the columns in the data frame, right? So all the columns, range column, which starts from 0 to 5, which means 5 minus 1 is 4. See this range index starts 0, stop 5, step 1. Is it clear?
Yes.
And you can calculate all the indexes and columns at the same, right, by using axis attribute. It will return the number of range of the indexes as well as range of the columns. See this range index starts 0, stop 2. The output will be the same, but by using axis you will get the both both indexing for range indexing and for range columns, right? And another attribute is shape, right? It returns the shape of the data frame. So what does it mean? This these two digits means this is the two-dimensional data, which shows this is first dimensional and this is second dimension, in which the first dimension has two elements, which has this is first element, which has 0 index position, and this has 1 index position. So that's why it has written 2. First dimension has two elements, and the second dimension, which is which is this, has 5 elements, right? So that means 2 multiplied by 5, that will become 10. So that means 10 elements are in the data frame. Can calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it clear? So this is having
Yeah.
10 elements, which has 2 rows and 5 columns, which means 2 rows and 5 columns, right? So the first number always will be the rows, that shows the number of rows. How many rows are there in the data frame? This means 2 rows. And how many columns are there in the data frame? 5 columns. So this is 4 rows and this is 4 columns. Now the next function is tf1 dot count function. It will return the number of elements by index, right? See this by indexing. How many index are there? 2 index. 0 and 1. So zero column has two index, one column has two elements, two column name 2 has the same number, and so on, right? So that's why it has written 0 2 1 2 2 2. Is it clear? So you can also
Yes.
you can also apply the same function in that way, df1 dot count, and just pass an argument 0 for row for indexing. That means you can pass 0 for the indexing. The output will be the same as we got earlier in the previous example. Just compile it. And another way to write the same statement is just just pass the axis. Axis. Axis what? Index. Right? So here you will get the same output. Right? And if you want to know the number of elements by column wise, you just need to write tf1 and just pass the value 1 as an argument. 0 for rows and 1 for columns. Remember always. And it will return the column wise. Right? So 0 has 5 elements and 1 has 5 elements. And the another way to write this statement, just copy this complete command and paste it here, and just change the value of axis into the column and execute it. You will get the same output. Is there?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, you want to know the size of your data frame. Just call the size attribute, which returns the number of elements present in the data frame. How many elements are there in the data frame? 10. Just count it. See this, 10 elements are there. And if I insert some more elements, see this, 15 elements are there, right? Now just count, see this, 15 elements are there. And the shape of that data frame is 3 by 5, because which means 3 rows and 5 columns. See this, see this, 3 by 5, which means 3 rows and 5 columns. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now let me know um, how many rows are there in the data frame. I want to know the number of rows. How many rows are there? You can you can call len function and pass the data frame inside it. It will return the number of rows present in the data frame, and 3 rows are there. And same as you can implement in the series? How many rows are there? Because all indexes are rows, so that has 5 rows. See this. Just write print s1 dot sorry lan and pass the string inside it, and it will return the number of rows. The indexes are rows, so that's why it returns 5. Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay. Any confusion regarding this, regarding the attributes or methods or whatever we have discussed today or in the previous
No.
lecture regarding the pandas series data free?
No.
Any,
Everything's clear.
everything is clear.
Mm.
Okay. So I'll give you one assignment. I'll send it onto the group. Okay. So you have to complete all the assignment accordingly. So there
Okay.
are some questions which you have to answer them, okay, one by one. And if you are having any problem regarding this while uh, solving the question uh, question answer, so ask me at any time.
Okay.
There are very simple questions which you have to solve out, right? So which is related to
Okay.
the topic which we have discussed today, and uh, some previous lecture, in the previous lecture. So all the questions are related to pandas, right? On the series or data frame. Okay. So till that, goodbye. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.